Hey everybody, Abria here and welcome to my channel. So today I'm just gonna dive right on in since this is my first video and it's a little bit intimidating. I am a homeschooling single mother and I was running across YouTube finding that yes, there are some other homeschooling single mothers, and I'm glad to see that there is, though a very small community, there is indeed a community of single homeschooling parents out there. So I am one of them, and I'm just gonna quickly go over what that's all about and what it takes to be able to homeschool as a single parent. So first and foremost, you have to know what your homeschooling laws are in your state. So depending upon which state you're thinking about homeschooling in, the laws do differ. Thankfully, we're in a state that's very supportive of homeschooling families, and we're able to go through an umbrella school that allows us to be very hands-on with our children. I only have one, although I do know there's plenty of mothers out there that have more, and I'm sure it's just the same. So where do we get our curriculum from? Anywhere, everywhere. Every moment is a teachable moment. Literally, you can do math at the grocery store. You can have them weigh out vegetables and fruits, or, have them pay at the register and learn how to do cash back that way. I mean, every moment is literally a teachable moment. Pinterest is great. If you're just out of ideas and you jump on Pinterest, and let's say your child comes to you and says, or maybe you want to introduce to them a certain subject, like, I don't know, something in science, maybe space. Literally everybody has something on Pinterest that can pertain to you. A lot of people already have unit studies put together. So if you're just out of ideas, you don't know where to start, and you're a little bit frustrated, hop on Pinterest, hop on Google, type in, free printable worksheets on math or whatever. There are definitely a few subjects that we are very specific on. So I definitely have always pushed and this is the one thing I'm going to say, read. Start them from the time they're young. Even if you don't like to read, one book a night can go a very, very long way. Introduce them to the love and the imagination that they have to use by reading books. That's huge for us. My son has reading time every day, and it's come to a point where it doesn't feel like a chore. He actually really loves to read, and he really enjoys it, and it really builds his imagination. So reading, of course, math. So when we first started homeschooling, of course, my son has always been homeschooled. He's never seen the inside of a school. I was homeschooled, so I was able to thankfully have a lot of support from my family already, and my mom already had a lot of ideas. So I'm very, very lucky in that aspect. We used the base 10 math system. We didn't do Common Core or anything. We did base 10, so it really helps with grouping and things of that nature. Now my son is doing an online program, which is fantastic. It is so helpful. It's teaching textbooks. You do pay a monthly fee, but it's like $25 something. Actually, you don't pay a monthly fee for teaching textbooks. I'm sorry. You pay a one-time fee. It's like just under $40 for teaching textbooks for that grade. My son is in the third grade. However, he has already finished, starting from last August when he originally first started third grade. He has already finished the entire year's worth of third grade math and is halfway through fourth grade math. And it is only like mid-February. So it really envelops that love for learning, especially when it comes to math, because it's very interactive. I definitely highly recommend teaching textbooks. You can find that online. On the days where maybe he's not feeling that or he needs something extra, because I definitely suggest you don't just rely on that. Again, I'm not quite as creative, but I'm so thankful that my mother is very creative, and she came up with these really awesome like little math cards, all kinds. So this one right here happens to be like a math word problem, and he has to figure that out. He can either do it on paper or he can do it in his head. Either way is fine. Fractions, and these were all done on a computer. Again, not by me. I can't take credit for these. These were made by my mother, but man, they've been so helpful, and he really enjoys them. And then you get to actually use their names and personalize them, which is great. We keep them in a box like this so that when he's bored or whenever he's just not feeling whatever he's doing, and that's one thing I definitely suggest. If they're having trouble with whatever you're working on, don't freak out. Close the book, it'll all be okay. Redirect them and have them do something else. It's gonna be okay. That's the best thing about homeschooling. There's no such thing as failing. You know when your children are pushing hard enough and you know when they're not. By all means, I'm not saying never to push them. I'm just saying there's no such thing as failing. If you are seriously not grasping the concept of something, then we need to find a different way of teaching it. You're not alone out there if you struggle or if you're concerned about not having the patience. I think it's supernatural for any parent, homeschooling or not, to get frustrated with their kids. So sometimes I have to jump on the phone and call my mom and just be like, I'm so frustrated. He's just not getting this, or, he doesn't want to learn this, or he's giving me a really hard time. And so if you have someone that's helpful and that's able to kind of jump in where you're unable, that's great. I am, like I said, I'm very lucky in that aspect. There are plenty of people there that don't. But you're totally able to do this on your own. There are plenty of online tutorials. There are plenty of things. And I actually found that while I do hold a degree, okay, you don't have to hold a degree in order to teach your children. You do not. It is really, really, really simple. There are things you're going to run into that are a little more difficult, of course. So I've had to relearn some things, that I had forgotten about because I don't really use on a daily basis. That's okay. That's okay. In public schools, anyways, they go a mile long and an inch deep this way, and they learn things that they don't really have to know. So it really is a waste of a lot of time, and they're always rushing through things. Whereas at home, if they don't learn something, you can take the extra time. That way there truly is no child left behind. You can go at their pace, whether it's quicker, whether it's slower, and they don't have to feel the repercussions of their surrounding classmates. Another really great thing about homeschooling is that you can literally take off and go anywhere at any time. If you want to go to a museum, or you want to go visit NASA, the Kennedy Space Center in Florida like we did last year, so they can not only learn these things that have textbooks, but they can actually physically see them, and it's tangible, and it gets them so excited. Very excited. It gets me excited. I love space, and I love to travel. So, I've been able to take my son to see different lighthouses, and the first lighthouse in Virginia that was ever, built in the United States. He was able to hike about 300 miles on the Pacific Crest Trail in 2018. I mean, there's so many things that you can do. You can literally envelop your children with the surroundings of learning and life, and they can learn how to love and appreciate it and not have to sit still in a box all day long. Not knocking on teachers or anything like that. I understand it's a very difficult job, but I'm just saying. Okay, I think that's probably enough for my very first video. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please hit subscribe, and I'm going to post the links down below of the curriculum that I was speaking to you about in the video, should you like to check that out and that's helpful to you. Of course, everybody has their own style, so I definitely encourage you to explore. Don't limit yourself. You literally are not required to even stay on the curriculum that you report you're going to be using, because honestly, styles change and some things work better for your kids than others, and that's totally okay. If you'd like to see some more on homeschooling or what we do in a day, I'm going to be posting some videos over the course of the next couple of weeks. Please feel free to ask some questions in the comments. I'm happy to respond and give you the best ideas that I can. Again, please hit subscribe, as I'm going to be posting a lot more, and not just about homeschooling. There's a lot of other topics that I really want to go over, including my new venture into cake decorating. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.